No, 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 no.
Not only was this chapter fantastic, but it also gave us some phenomenal memes. One Piece 1107, I've been looking for you. Red Ogre and Blue Ogre start off the show, baby. They low-key remind me of Luffy and Zoro if they were giants, right? Like one of them has a sword, one of them uses a hammer. Luffy's more of a bludgeoning type, right? Like if he did have a weapon, it would be some type of hammer. Would be pretty cool to see. Why doesn't Luffy have a weapon though? He's just a fist guy. Just likes to punch. Also, Kashi and Oimo have returned. Love to see that. Haven't seen them in a while, and I love that we finally get an Ussop moment. Something. Oda finally gives us something. Even if it's, at the very least, him showing some genuine emotion. It's refreshing. It also ties up some loose ends, which Oda has made it a point in this final saga to tie up every single loose end he can, little by little. Every chapter, he ties up something. I really do feel that at some point, Oda, while he was planning the final saga, he wrote a long list of every plot point that needs to be closed before One Piece ends. And during the final saga, every single chapter, I feel like he does make an effort to touch up on a plot point or close a plot point. Too much talk about plot points. I feel like I said the word plot point a lot there. Also, did you notice Vivi? I love it. Brook and Lilith can't stop the Sunny, so this Mugiwara escape plan needs to be speedy and efficient. They all need to be ready to leave at a moment's notice, which brings us to Zoro versus Rob Lucci. So far, one of the more disappointing aspects of Egghead. I do hope the anime expands on this fight a little bit because we really got nothing. Not even any implications of an exciting fight. It almost seems like Lucci and Zoro are simply stalling for their side. Like none of them wants to go all out just yet. Like if the fight were to just end right now because Jinbei shows up and they escape or something like that, do you think anybody will say their favorite Zoro fight was Zoro versus Rob Lucci? Bruh. Or their favorite One Piece fight? Like where would this fall in the top 100 One Piece fights? It's gonna be like 99. This is not even a fight. What is this? But there is hope. There is hope, guys. Calm down. There is hope. We might get a cool finale. We'll just have to wait and see. But in terms of agenda piece and power scaling, it does seem like Zoro isn't going all out in the least. 2 swords, also no bandana. It seems like he could be saving his strength for something. Maybe he felt Saturn's presence and he feels that he needs to conserve his stamina. Who knows? But so far, this fight pretty much at a stalemate. And there's a chance we might not get a concrete finale. Speaking of power scaling, after this video, y'all should totally check out my top 30 most powerful One Piece characters. I'll toss up the link. Anyway, the Marines have to fire at their pacifistas if they hope to survive. Gotta love that irony, right? Like you created these weapons of mass destruction and now you gotta destroy them. Gotta love it. The next scene got me absolutely hyped. Bonnie admitting to Luffy she has been searching for him her whole life. And Luffy unleashing a booming dawn Gatling, putting the hurt on Saturn even further, sending him flying, which further confirms I don't consider Saturn a top tier. I think he is under Admiral level for sure. Maybe around, you know, first Yonko Commander level maybe, but I don't see this guy as a top tier. Just because you can regenerate does not make you a top tier. Also, have you guys seen people reacting to Gear 5 not being quote-unquote serious enough? I personally love that he's so overpowered yet cheerful. Makes Luffy's transformation truly unique and iconic. But it is pretty funny that he reacts to Vegapunk's death in this way and then proceeds to just laugh it off, right? Basically. Luffy's always been a savage though. Also, just imagine if Goku reacted like that to Krillin's death on Namek. The DBZ community would absolutely lose their mind. Anyway, we then get an epic Sanji Vinsmoke moment. Our boy just casually kicked away the laser beam of Kizaru Borsalino. And Kizaru is absolutely shook. This is literally the most surprised we have ever seen Kizaru, and that is a fact. I saw a chart of every facial expression Kizaru has ever done, and this is by far the most shocked he has ever looked, and you gotta love it. The Sanji stans are eating this up. They finally got a win, baby, and we then transition to a potential 2v1, Sanji and Gear 5 Luffy versus Kizaru. That sounds so epic, man. It would allow Luffy to get an epic W over Kizaru without making Kizaru and the Admirals look weak. So I think this is perfect writing by Oda, right? Because we don't want to low diff an Admiral and make them look like trash, right? We want them to look strong. So adding Sanji into the mix will balance things out and would give Luffy and Sanji a win. I believe they will win, because if Luffy and Kizaru was a tie before, adding Sanji to the mix will obviously change everything. We're gonna see a very different battle, and it should be a lot of fun. Should be a cool way for everybody to flex and show off their skills without the L being so damaging to that person's reputation, which I enjoy. I respect Oda for having that foresight. The agendas are safe. Anyway, we then get to the finale of this chapter, which is simply god tier. We finally learn that it is actually Katarina Devon and Von Ogre,
I'm an ogre!
however you call them, who infiltrated the island. And their mission is now complete. After touching Saturn, Katarina reveals that they are done. Mission complete, implying that she wanted the power to transform into a Gorosei. In this case, she will have the ability to transform into Saint J. Garcia Saturn. Very similar to Bon Clay's ability, right? But it might be a tier higher. It is the mythical zone version of that fruit after all. It is the nine-tailed fox zone. Must come with a plethora of new abilities, right? And we've just seen a taste of it. Most likely there are a lot more abilities that she has access to. And we also learned from Saturn himself that Blackbeard's lineage is special. Could he be a Buccaneer? Maybe he's another race we haven't seen yet. I actually made a video on all the potential Buccaneers in One Piece. Go check that out if you haven't. And we will have to wait and see what Blackbeard's race actually is, because now it's got me scratching my head. Is there another race we haven't heard of? Feels like every arc we're getting a new race, new something, right? And we also learned from Von Ogre probably the most savage line in this entire chapter. The line that gave me chills was that when Saturn asked them, what are all these stunts? Like, what are you guys trying to pull? What are you guys trying to pull? That line gave me chills, and the chapter ends with the reveal that Caribou is a Marshall D. Teach stan, confirming that we will get the Battle of the Fanboys, Caribou versus Bartolomeo. Book it, baby! Who would have thought our mud boy was such a damn simp?